Hello and welcome back to Beckler Guitars and Repair. And today we're checking out a really cool guitar. This is our first G&L USA guitar on the channel. This is a Fullerton Deluxe ASAT Classic Bluesboy in Himalayan blue. So I got this guitar used. I haven't even had a chance to go through it at all yet. I haven't even plugged it in. So we're going to do that today on the video. We're going to take this thing apart, see what makes it tick, and then we're going to set it up and then do a playing demo. Let's check it out. So I picked this one up used. I've been wanting to review USA G&L on the channel for a while now. And so the old G&Ls used to come, or USA G&Ls used to come in a really nice hard shell flight case, and this is it. I think the new G&Ls in this day and age only come with a gig bag, but that's kind of what a lot of guitar manufacturers are doing these days. So it's unfortunate, but this one does come with the really nice flight G&L case. And yeah, that's just a really gorgeous guitar. So this is called Himalayan Blue. It's an alder body. It's got a rosewood fingerboard with acrylic dot inlays. The fingerboard radius is 9.5. And this one comes with a hard rock maple neck. It's got a humbucker in the neck. This bridge pickup has been swapped out for a Seymour Duncan hot rail, but I do have the original in a little case here, so I'm going to actually swap it back to original because I like just a classic Tele a little bit more than the hot rail. So, and I haven't even plugged this in yet. I'm not sure if everything works, but it was a good price, so I kind of just got out while the getting was good. And these are very standard, like Tele style guitars. So if you're not familiar with G&L, when Leo Fender sold Fender in 1980s, he started his own company called G&L with a business partner, George Fullerton. So G&L actually stands for George and Leo. And they actually use a lot of the original machines that pre-CBS Fenders were made on. They kept those machines and started making G&Ls. G&L is a lot smaller operation than Fender. It's more of like a smaller custom shop style setting with a lot more handmade stuff, not as automated, not so much, you know, CNC machine stuff. Although they do have that as well. But it's just a lot smaller operation and a lot more, you know, boutique-y style attention to detail. They're really great guitars. They also have a tribute series, which are also good. Those guitars are made in Korea and Indonesia, I think at the Cortec factory, but they are very good, the tribute series too. So if you find a G&L tributes, they're usually not a lot of money. You can find them great prices used on the used market, and every guitar that I've tried that's been a tribute has been really good. But these are the kind of flagship, you know, USA models. The USA G&Ls are called the Legacy models. Just noticing the saddles here. So this is kind of a cool idea. The saddles are similar to like traditional Tele styles, like the barrel style, but these are individual barrel style saddles, so you can really adjust the intonation a lot better because you have a barrel per string. So you can adjust them back and forth to really dial in your intonation, which is a common, you know, problem or pain point on a standard Telecaster. Also has the Perloid pickguard, 3-ply, bone nut, and let's have a quick look at the back. This is a string through, and this is kind of cool. Instead of like the individual, you know, ferrules on the back, it's got kind of a plate that they use to put for the string through. We've got our G&L neck plate and a really nice looking hard rock maple neck. And these guitars are a little hard to date because there's a time period where this serial number doesn't really correspond to a date. So the only real way to date these guitars in a certain time period is to open them up, and they'll have the date inside the body somewhere. So we'll have to open it up and have a look. And these are the G&L branded tuners, which feel pretty good. As far as condition goes, you know, just it seems to be in pretty good shape. There's a little bit of wear on the frets here, but you know, it's pretty minimal. And the body's in nice shape, no major gouges or dings anywhere. Seems to be a few little marks and dings here and there. But overall, seems to be in really nice condition. Alright, let's go ahead and get it on the bench and have a look at some of the specs. Weighing in at 8 pounds, 2.6 ounces, or 3.702 kilograms. So not the lightest guitar ever, but it's a fairly good weight. And I'm getting no reading from the pickups here, which is not a great sign. Again, I bought this without plugging it in, which is not always the greatest idea, but sometimes if it's a really good deal and you're confident you can fix it, then sometimes it's worth it. This is also could be due to how it's wired sometimes. Depending on how it's wired, sometimes it doesn't show up in this test. So we'll have to look inside to know more. And I did plug it in just to be safe here. And it is working, everything's working. It might just be this output jack, it needs to be cleaned up a little bit. And I messed around with the jack a little bit and it's starting to read now. So in the bridge position, the hot rail is reading a 13.59. And the neck position, the humbucker is reading a 7.18. And in the middle position, it's a 4.91. And we will be swapping this hot rail back to the original pickup. Alright, let's have a look underneath the pick guard here. So, okay. So it looks like this pickup was replaced with a Seymour Duncan pickup. I'm not really sure which one it is. It doesn't really have any model number on it or anything. It just says neck. So it's hard to say what this pickup is. But Seymour Duncan do make really nice pickups. And there does to be some sort of a serial number on the pick guard here. It says 60362218. So I'm not sure what that means. Maybe some sort of internal factory. It also says, oh, interesting. Okay, so on the inside of the neck pickup here, interesting. Okay, so inside the neck pickup here, so it is routed for a neck pickup, like a humbucker, but inside it says Sonic. So what that means is that this was originally a Sonic Blue. So I did a color comparison on the G&L website here, and there was Sonic Blue, which is a little bit more of a turquoise finish, and then there is the Himalayan Blue, which is more this color. But you can see the difference in color right here under the pick guard. So it looks like it started off as a Sonic Blue, but then it aged into a more of a Himalayan Blue, which is pretty interesting. You can definitely see underneath the pick guard, it's more of that green color. And then on the outside of the pick guard, it's more of that blue color. Now, this could be one of two things. So it could have originally started off this color, and then like UV or whatever aged it into this more like Himalayan blue color, or it started off Himalayan blue, or what I would consider Himalayan blue, and then the pick guard off-gassed and reacted with the finish to make it more of this turquoise color. So I'm not really sure, but the inside pickup says Sonic Blue, so I'm assuming it started off the Sonic Blue color and then aged to the Himalayan Blue. But yeah, cool. So this is an alder body. You can see some of the wood grain there in the pickup cavity, and it says Sonic PW with a W there, and the route looks to be nice and clean. And just having a look at our hot rail in the bridge. Okay. So yeah, it looks like this is the STHR1B. So that's like the Tele style hot rail. And then we do have a ground wire coming here, just resting underneath the bridge plate here. That's to help ground the electronics. And in the pickup cavity here, we've got a nice clean route. You can see that alder at the bottom. And it just says P with a serial number, which is 223992. And that number does not correspond with the next serial, so I'm not really sure. It's more of an internal number, I think, for the factory. And then just having a look at our controls here. So yeah, it appears to be factory controls. We've got our 3-way selector switch with full-size pots here. Looks like this is our capacitor for our treble, and then it looks like there is a treble bleed on there as well. And then this is just our wired in bridge pickup. So if I want to replace the bridge pickup, I just need to send my ground wire to this little solder blob here on the volume pickup, and then my hot goes into this little tab on the 3-way selector switch. So it's pretty easy to swap the pickup, which I'm going to do that now. So here's the original G&L pickup for the bridge, but there's a little bit of an issue. They've cut the wires here right at the base of the pickup. So that's typically not what you want to do. You want to leave them long so you can put them back in. I'm going to have to splice on 2 wires here to make this work. So it's a little bit more work, but it's definitely doable. But if you're going to replace pickups, I would highly recommend just to leave them long and just unsolder them at where they're soldered onto the guitar. So I've soldered on some new push-pull wire. I've just colored the end of this black so I know this is the ground. And then I'm just going to swap the pickup quickly. Alright, everything works. And here's the remove Seymour Duncan hot rail. I think these are fine pickups. They're just not what I prefer. If I want a humbucker, I just want a real humbucker sound. These sound close, but not quite there. And I think on tellies, I just prefer the single coils anyways. So I'm just going to be selling this in my reverb shop. Alright, so I took the neck off. Here is the neck pocket of the guitar. So it dates it to 2002. It's actually this guitar's birthday. I'm filming this on August 20th, 2025. So this guitar is officially 23 years old. And we've got some sort of a signature on the body there. And then on the neck, it's got no other markings except for someone signed this. So it says Neckwork 2002. So again, that corresponds with the body with the signature. So someone at the factory, I guess, had to do some neck work on this, or I'm not really sure. But anyway, that's the pocket. Now I wanted to show you how well this neck fits into the pocket. This is like the tightest neck fit I've come across, maybe ever. You really have to snap it into place, and you can almost lift the entire guitar just from the pocket here. So very, very tight. I'm struggling even getting it in there. So yeah, extremely tight neck pocket, which is great. And some G&L guitars do have one-piece bodies. As far as I can tell, I can't see any joining grain in the neck cavities. It could be a one-piece body, or maybe the pieces are you know, asymmetrical or something like that. But it's hard to tell because this is a solid finish, and it's pretty thick finish. You can't really see any grain or joining lines in the light along the finish. I just want to show another quick little mod that I'm doing. So this is a bone nut, which is great, but I did notice that the nut slots are pretty deep. So what I mean by that is that the string sits pretty far in the slot that was you know, carved or filed for the string. So that can lead to some tuning stability issues, like when you're tuning the the string can like bind in that channel. So it's nice. It's better to have them a little more shallow so that the strings kind of sit proud on top and not fully like in a channel. So I'm just going to use my Dremel tool with the sanding bit just to you know, take some material off the top so those nut channels are a little bit more shallow. So yeah, easy fix, and I can confirm it's bone because bone stinks a lot when you're working on it. It smells like burnt hair. So yeah, definitely a bone nut. Alright, it's all set up and put back together here, and I just want to talk about this bridge pickup for a second. So this is the G&L MFD pickup. This was actually designed by Leo Fender himself. MFD stands for Magnetic Field Design. Basically, they're supposed to have a higher output, more clarity, and less hum than traditional single coils. Compared to like a Fender Tele pickup, this is supposed to have a little higher output, smoother treble, so like not as harsh or ice picky, and a more even response, a little bit more bass, and less hum when you're using you know, distortion. And just getting the new pickup readings now. So we got 7.27 in the neck and a 6.2 or so in the bridge, and the middle is now reading a 3.47. And I'm trying to identify the Seymour Duncan in the neck pickup. So just using what I can find online and the you know, what it's reading at, plus the braided cord, it's most likely a 59 neck pickup or a Seth lever. So it's either an SH1N or an SH55. That's kind of what I've narrowed it down to from what I can tell. So I did manage to get quite a nice setup on this guitar. So using my depth gauge here at the 12th fret, it's reading about just under, maybe just over 1 millimeter, and at the high E it's just under 1 millimeter. So nice little action. Using my notched straight edge, you can see that there's very little relief in the neck. There's just a tiny little line between the notched straight edge and the fingerboard. And we can see after I've took some material off the nut here, the strings are sitting just on top of those slots, which is great. And then here in the 3rd fret area, you can see when I'm using the 3rd fret that the strings are just resting gently on that 1st fret. So nice low action, well cut nut. Alright, just getting some neck specs here. So width at the nut is a 1.66 or 42.18 millimeters. At the 12th fret, that gets up to a 2.07 inches or 52.66 millimeters. Neck depth at the 1st fret is a 0.82 inches or a 20.84 millimeters. And at the 12th fret, that gets up to a 0.94 inches or a 23.89 millimeters. Alright, let's take a quick look at the condition of this guitar for its 23rd birthday here. So yeah, the guitar's in really nice shape. If you get into the light, you can see that there's a couple very like superficial scuffs in the finish, just like handling marks. Maybe a couple small, very small micro dings in the finish that you can only see if you catch it in the light. There's one little smaller mark here, a little chip taken out of the finish, not through the finish. And the fingerboards are a really nice color, nice grain, a lot of red in there and dark. And the frets are in nice shape. You can see in the cowboy cord area there's like a couple small indentations, but nothing that affects playability here. And there's a look at our nut, which I took a little material off so that the strings seat in there a little bit better. Headstock's in really good shape, no scratches or dings. And the truss rod works well. I just used it. You can see it has a little bit of a different style of a truss rod than a Fender. It kind of looks like those bullet style truss rods, but like deeper in the cavity there. So a bit of a different design. And quick look at the back. Back's in good shape. There's just some slight scuffing, handling marks that you can see in the light, but overall really nice shape. The neck has no dings or indentations. And the back of the headstock, this looks just like a sticker. I'm gonna have to remove that. There's a little bit of sticker residue here too, so I can easily remove that, which I will. And these are the vintage styles tuners that have like the slots in the front. And there's our serial number, CLF26704, and this is a 2002 model. And just confirming I got rid of that sticker residue there. Alright, so this guitar sits great on a strap. There's no neck dive. Not that you'd expect it for the weight that it has. And I'm just going to go through the fingerboard here to see if there's any buzzing or fretting out anywhere. So yeah, no buzzing or fretting out anywhere, and nice low action. There's no fret sprout at all. It's nice and smooth, and the edge of the fingerboard is actually quite nicely rolled. I'm just going to play it a bit acoustically here. So it does ring out for a nice long time. And I'm not getting much vibration in the body, but I'm getting quite a lot in the neck. The neck feels really good to play. Here's a look at the neck profile. Just, yeah, super rounded neck profile, and it stays quite round by the 12th fret. It feels like a vintage Fender neck. Okay, so it looks like we're ready to plug it in and see how it sounds. Alright, I'm plugged into my 1965 Fender Bassman. I'm going to be using a Flint Strymon for a little bit of reverb, and my GTO Germanium overdrive pedal, which is a nice transparent overdrive for a little distortion and breakup. I'm just going to go through the pickups clean and then with a little bit of dirt. I got a new mic on the cab today. I'm using the Sennheiser D609 as well as my condenser AT2020 Audio Technica for the room. So yeah, it sounds really great, clean. It's not quite as trebly or as jangly as a Fender Telecaster, so it definitely is a little bit different sounding, but it sounds great. I'm gonna go ahead and try it with a little bit of distortion. right, final thoughts on this 2002 G&L USA Fullerton Deluxe ASAT Classic Bluesboy in Sonic Blue. This is a great guitar. I love the color. Again, this is Sonic Blue, but it seems to have aged into more of a Himalayan blue. Everything about this guitar just felt super high-end. The fretwork was great. We've got those jumbo frets on there, and they were really well done. There's no fret sprout at all. Super nice and ruled fingerboard as well. It's got some really nice pickups in here. This is the G&L MFD bridge pickup here, the single coil, and then we've got a Seymour Duncan humbucker in the neck, and they sound great together. It's got a really nice dark and reddish rosewood fingerboard, and the body is alder. I'm not sure if it's a one-piece body, but I couldn't find a seam line in the neck cavity or in the pickup cavities. Stayed in tune really well. It played great. It's got nice low action on it with no buzzing or fretting out anywhere. The pickup sounded a little different than a Tele. A little bit darker, a little bit more clarity, and not so harsh. So it's kind of a rolled off kind of a treble. And I ended up really liking it. It was a little bit darker than what a Tele usually sounds like, but it sounded really, really nice. And I really liked the humbucker in the neck position. Sounded great, and in the middle you really get a nice blend of the two. It has a good weight, it feels substantial without being too heavy, and it sits on a strap well. And I just didn't have a lot of bad things to say about this guitar. It's great. So if you're looking for something a little bit different than Fender, I would highly suggest checking out G&L, especially their USA models. They're great. And that's going to be it for today. Thank you for watching Beckler Guitars and Repair, and I'm going to have more for you really soon. Thanks a lot.